Hi guys, it's Simon here. As promised from last episode, I'm here with my theories on American Horror Story Hotel and Scream Queens. So, this video looks like it's going to be long, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that we don't time over. But if we do, there's a perfectly good excuse to wait, because my theories, I think, are going to be important. At least I like to think they're important. And it's also impacty because American Horror Story premieres next week for the US, but for Australia it will air not next Monday, but the Monday after, so on the 12th. So I'll be able to see if some of my predictions are right. Now, first off, we have to bring to attention the fact that Jamie Bell 5, who routinely comes to my videos and is one of my genuine little Ks, and I love her. She's a great girl. She is quite clearly not pleased with the Lady Gaga approach to the season because she has retweeted this stuff, which says what we see versus what Ryan Murphy sees, and then this. A minute of silence for what we've lost, which has "and Jessica Lange" on the side, hinting the fact that Jess won't be a major part of this season. And the reason why I've kind of shown that is because they've released the opening title sequence, and I have been putting off watching it all day in order to react to it now. So I'm going to put my headphones in. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. And I tried rearranging the camera angles. The screen won't work. So you're going to have to just trust on what I'm seeing. So if you do want to watch the opening sequence, I'll try and find the link to where it is. I'm hoping it's available for filming in all places. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy. There's, oh my god, there's something weird here. And there's also a John opening that I really want to see. And this opening is getting biblical, and that leads into this, what's it called? The Ten Commandments killer. So I'm going to keep the volume down, and please, unlike Freak Show, please stick to the original music. Because last time they changed the music up for Freak Show, and it took me ages to get used to it. Oh, it's different. Oh, someone's reaching in. Oh, it's different. Blood on the walls. Blood everywhere. Oh my god. Okay. Something's peeking out there. What the fuck was that? Let me go back. Oh my god. I just skipped it. Number 5, honour thy father and thy mother. Uh-oh. Evan Peters. Bloody kids outside the doors, I hate. Oh. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. I'm going to hell then. Chloe 7G. Someone's at the end and it looks like it goes, thou shalt not kill, unfortunately. Thou shalt remember something or other. I'm not going to stop to look forward to it. Oh. Those kids are hiding in there. That is not appealing. Thou shalt not where they... Thou shalt not covet Cheyenne Jackson. That's fine. Thou shalt not steal with Angela Bassett. Thou shalt not something or other. Oh my god. Thou shalt not do something or other. Oh my god. That was literally like a barrage of things like literally thrown directly at me. So I'm going to have to stop and look through. And it's important for every AHS fan to stop and look through. Because hidden in that title sequence are clues of what's going to happen. And quite a lot of it was religious theme, which hints back to the Ten Commandments killer. I'm really excited to see that. And oh my god, that's exciting. They've also posted a John Lowe thing, which is the character Wes Bentley's going to play, a 10-second sneak peek at the official AHS page. So I'm going to look for that now. There. check in with the cast for a first look at the Hotel Cortez. Here it is. Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ, this sounds faulty. Oh, stop pausing! I hate those kids. Oh, that kid does not look nice. Stop, don't walk forwards. Right, I'm just gonna open this in a different folder because this isn't working for me. Oh, the kid's walking forwards. Don't walk towards the children! Ugh. Why doesn't nobody ever listen to me? Those children are freaky. Do not walk towards the children. They're gonna suck your blood. Like their mother. Okay. Already this man's pissing me off. Okay, let's move on. We've got the character list through. I'm gonna rattle off the characters and I'm gonna give my theories on what each of them are. And then they've released the first 6 episodes of the season, so I'm gonna go back and look through what I think's gonna happen. Okay, so first up you have Kathy Bates as Iris. Now she's gonna be the lady at the front desk. Now I think she'll be okay. The thing that's different with this role, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything, is that this role has aged her quite a bit. Now, granted, she looks beautiful as, but compared to her other 2 roles that she's had so far, she goes from being a 58-year-old to being like a 72-year-old. I'm not sure if that's a deliberate trick by the hair and makeup team, because a lot of the hotel staff are people of a certain age, because you're going to get like James March, who was born in like the 20s or something, and he would be several decades old. You've got Mayor Winningham, who looks at the age of 62, and this is so brutal and rude. I'm feeling like crap. That's nothing to be ashamed of, because she does look good. Mayor Winningham, how old is she actually? She's 56, so I've pretty much just gone and pissed her off, and what have I just done with Kathy Bates? She is honestly quite a bit off from 72, so hopefully I haven't pissed off too many factions of the AHS fandom. Sorry. Moving on. I think that's a smart trick, because the whole cast is kind of like aged, and when you look at Lady Gaga's Countess, you're gonna get a creature that's decades old as well. It maybe even centuries. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next, oh, something just popped up from Facebook on my thing. Next up is Sarah Paulson, who plays Hypodermic Sally. I don't know about you, but I'm generally not feeling, purely because the writers have said at that conference that they wanted to kill off one of Sarah's characters for once. So that's probably why I'm not getting as attached as I did last time with Freak Show. I'm worried she won't turn... I had worries before today that Sarah wasn't going to turn it, because I thought Freak Show was at peak, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that she pulls out something really good with this role. So fingers crossed there's going to be something there. I think she's going to be in some romantic relationship with Gabriel, who's played by Max Greenfield, and I'll get to him a little bit more when we get down to him. So that could be pretty interesting. Maybe... No, I don't think she'll be a failed bloodsucker. I think somehow Gabriel's going to kill her. So, brutal, but hopefully that there's something good with her, because what we've got so far is really cryptic. So next up is someone who I can talk about quite a lot in detail. Evan Peters' character. He is going to portray Mr. James March. Other than sharing my birth month with the character, so thank you very much. You are now my favourite. He's going to be like a villain bad guy character for the first time since season 1, in essence. So that's going to be really, really exciting for the fangirls who love Tate, seeing him portray James now. I'm really intrigued and excited to see what he's got. And apparently he's going to be alive in the present day and gone but was still like alive back in the 20s, and he's apparently this crazy murderer. So I'm really excited, intrigued, and a little bit scared to see what he's got. And apparently he's still alive in the modern thing. I'm not sure if I reiterated this, so maybe he's one of those blood drinking things, because when it came to the Room 64 teaser, and that was the room Ryan said that Evan's character was going to be in, you heard slurping on the other end of there, so I'm thinking he might be. So there's not much to give yet, and that's probably more in the episode list. Wes Bentley is back from playing Edward Mordrake, and he's going to be portraying John Lowe, as you heard up there earlier. My impressions of the character, very Ben Harmon. I'm getting Ben Harmon vibes coming from him, with kind of like the hair and also the sneak preview of him just casually just lying on the bed, just generally done of a day of doing his job. Little did he know a crime was happening right under his bed. It's that Gabrielle's supposedly dead body had just been dumped there. So I think they already know, and they're trying to get him out of the hotel so they can continue going on in their criminal ways. So I'm not sure if his character was like knocked out to not look under the bed, but because you would have heard the gasp by then, and it doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. So he could have been drugged, it could have been that, but at this moment anything's possible. I'm getting Ben and Vivian Harmon vibes with John and his wife Alex, and I'll get more to her in a bit, but I'm getting more kind of that vibes. So it's kind of like Murder House character callback, but don't go too far in there, otherwise plots will be recycled, and when plots get recycled, it's not a good idea. So my impression that he's gonna try and be a good detective, but fail miserably at the same time. So we'll have to wait and see what we've got. I'll get more onto what I think he can achieve later on. Matt Bomer is next, and he's going to be playing Donovan, the lover of the Countess character that Gaga's playing. I think I'm going to like this guy. I think he's going to be like an asshole with like taking the kids away from the parents and giving them to Gaga so she can bite them and turn them into like her children. That's going to piss me off quite a bit, because it's kind of going against the protagonists, but somewhere I feel like there's like this brain sense with me. I think I'm going to like him for some strange reason. And the theme song for this series is Heartbreak Hotel. And this is a song apparently about a man who commits suicide in a hotel because his lover has just left him. And it mentions something about the clerk all dressed up in black or something along those lines. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, apparently Donovan's going to be really close to Iris, so I'm having a worrying feeling that Donovan's going to be the person that's going to get killed off. But Finn Whitrock is listed in the recurring section of the cast list, so it could be either one of them because of Gaga's episode order, and I'll get to that pretty soon. So, moving on from him, and on to Chloe Sevigny, who we last saw as Shelley in Asylum, playing Alex Lowe, a doctor. Now, I love how this role progression has moved, and I do get a kind of Ben and Vivian Harmon vibe, because if you go from, like, the promo, how they were, like, holding their hands when the kid arrived, and then just splitting them apart so the kid could pass through, and then not bothering to go back and hold their hand, I think there's an amount of friction in the relationship. Her character is a doctor and is going to try and help another parent whose kid is also experiencing the same kind of symptoms as her and John's son. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. I think that Gaga's character is going to try and swipe the kids away, and Alex is going to put up a real fight against Gaga, but Gaga will push her down like that. You know those the stairs that were shown in the Tunnelhead promo? I think Gaga's going to like push her down the stairs, and the kids that are already down there are pretty much going to all bite and kind of supposedly kill Alex, but then she comes back as this the bloodsucker sort of thing as well. And I think that she's going to try and handle it, but it'll be like Vicky from the Vampire Diaries. She'll break down, she won't be able to handle it, but instead of trying to massacre every other character, she'll go to John and she'll beg him to kill her, and he does. If it plays out right and to the strength that both actors can provide, then I think that Wes and Chloe will have pretty good chances of scooping up some trophies. So, that's my opinion on Alex. I think she's going to be a strong female empowered character. So, hopefully it goes well for her. Moving on to Dennis O'Hare's Liz Taylor. Now, I remember watching Dennis O'Hare in, like, True Blood when he was on it, like, with Russell Edgington Series 3. From every other season afterwards, to watch the physical transformations that he's gone through on American Horror Story in an attempt to try and ignite his characters, it's amazing. I am absolutely in awe of the man's characterization. And this series, he's going an extra mile. He's going completely bald for this role, and I think it's going to be really, really interesting. From the sneak preview, he seemed like an arsehole, so hopefully my suspicions are proved wrong, because I don't want him to become like a second Jessica Lange, whereas good actor, but given the same kind of archetype of role every single time. There's only so many times you can play an angry chain smoker. So he's hoping that he doesn't step into the role of repetition. But from news on the the costumes, Dennis tried on a dress for his character Liz that Jessica was supposed to wear during Coven, and it fits. So Ryan and the team have decided to put it in the show. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see what they've picked, what the dress was. But so far, I think that Liz might be an asshole. So, move on from that to Cheyenne Jackson's Will Drake. Now, to be fair, I don't know much about Cheyenne Jackson. He's one of the new additions to the cast. So, is there any other new addition in the main cast so far? No. Other than Gaga, and we're going to get to her in a minute. He's going to play... I'm thinking he's playing the mentor to Finn Wittrock's Tristan character. So I'm thinking he's kind of going to be an asshole, but only to the point of protecting Tristan. So there's some hope that he'll be a good character, but he's hoping he won't... what's the word for it? He won't get too overbearing. Like, we can't have another Gloria Mott incident. Whereas Frances Conroy's performance was really, really good. Her character got very overbearing of Dandy in Freak Show. So he's hoping that it's not the same thing with Will having to baby Tristan, and that Will knows where he stands and won't get pushed over. So I'm really not sure what to expect from Will Drake, but it should be intriguing. Next up is Angela Bassett's Ramona Royale. Look, I love Angela Bassett as an actress. She is absolutely fantastic, and she's a beautiful lady. But I have a feeling that this role's going to piss me off a little bit. She's directly teaming up with, I think from what rumours say, Donovan to take down the Countess. And when you hear the kind of the blood kind of drawing thing from Gaga's thing and my suspicions, you'll kind of get where my viewpoint is on her. I just think that her character, without saying the proper reasons, is going to be a little bit of an asshole. So far, she's joined Dennis, Cheyenne, and... just Janice and Cheyenne at the moment in the arseholes category, which is weird because they all appear consecutively in the title sequence. So, whether that's intentional or not, I don't know. Last up in the main cast is Lady Gaga's Countess Elizabeth. Now, I'm loving the idea of putting Lady Gaga in American Horror Story Hotel. All these people saying, oh, she's going to ruin the show, she can't act for shit. Did you not see the VMAs in 2011? Well, for those of you who didn't, Lady Gaga appeared on stage, or throughout the whole award show, as a male alter ego that she called Joe Calderone, I think his name was. And she stayed in character the entire show. It never broke the thing, her character poise once, and kind of remained very laid back and kind of not caring what was going on. Except for that time where, during the broadcast when Beyonce announced her pregnancy, she cracked a pretty big smile and seemed pretty happy. So, Um, but that's Beyonce, so we can pass it off for that. But don't counter out so quickly, and don't use the machete kills argument against me, because that movie was doomed to fail the minute they cast Charlie Sheen as the President of the United States. So don't use the machete kills argument against me on Gaga's acting, because I think she's actually going to do pretty well and surprise a few people. The thing though with the blood-sucking thing, apparently there was an article that I read that it's going to be a very kind of prejudiced view against them, so it's going to kind of be other people against Gaga's kind of motley crew. And when Gaga was turned all the way back then, it definitely wasn't understood back then, I'm thinking. So in order to feel less lonely, she's surrounded herself by all of these people. With all of these people. It's kind of like Twisty from last series, except this time there are some people that she's obviously going to have sex with. And those include Matt Bomer's character, Angela Bassett's character, and potentially Finn Wittrock's character. Cheyenne Jackson, if we're lucky. So that's pretty much that. So it's going to be a very kind of us against them kind of feel, and them being pushed out and feeling prejudiced against. I know what it feels like to be pushed out of a group and necessarily be the loner and be counted against, and it's not nice. So I'm feeling like I'm going to sympathise with her on that, but I also feel like she's going to be a little bit of a bitch. So I'm going to be pretty mixed on her. But for those of you who are still whinging about Gaga, don't worry. She's like in... apparently they say she's in like 8 episodes of the season, which is like a solid 2/3 of it, but she might be out for the last third if the 10 Commandments killer catches up to her, which is what I think will happen. And then Donovan, or probably under the emotional upset of having helped Ramona try and bring down the Countess, that is if he is working for her, goes into like this mental breakdown and commits suicide. That's what I think might happen. And unless it's Tristan, in which case completely off with my theory about Donovan, but let's see what happens. Overall, I'm really excited for Gaga's character to arrive. So I'm going to rattle through the recurring cast very, very quickly, because we're running really short of time. Finn Wittrock is Tristan Duffy. He's a hypersexual male model, and he's going to get entangled with the Countess. There are also going to be some male-on-male scenes, which I'm pretty excited to see, because we got close to with Freak Show with Matt Bomer, so it'll be really good actually seeing things fully played apart this season. Not to mention, have you seen Finn Wittrock? Like, come on. Who wouldn't want to stare? So, I'm going to kind of move now to stop burying myself in a big hole. So, I'm going to move down to Gabriel. Oh yeah, one quick thing about Tristan is he's in recurring cast, so it really could be him or Donovan that ends up killing themselves to fit with the Heartbreak Hotel theme. Ryan and Brad are honestly pulling no punches when it comes to the song clue this time around. And they know what we're trying to do, and they're not going to make it easy for us. So, next up is Max Greenfield's Gabriel. My initial feeling with the biting thing, because when... in that promo where he's lying under the bed and he gasps for breath, if you pause it at the right moment when he gasps for breath, you can see bite marks in his kind of, you know, this side of your neck? Kind of around there. So, I'm having a feeling that's either Gaga or Donovan's doing. So, I think that was supposed to be a drainage attempt gone horribly wrong. So... they're going to try and track him down and kill him. He's kind of like one of those disasters that comes out that wasn't supposed to. Like, a little bit like Ice Snack 2.0, but bloodsucky. Oh dear. And now, next moving on, Emma Roberts. Now, I'm not particularly a fan of Emma Roberts, as you would know, from my last video on Scream Queens, and that's purely because of what happened with Evan. Which I'm not going to go into now because we're running out of time, and because you can easily look at it online. You don't need me to have to reiterate the point. She's sharing scenes with Evan again, so he's hoping her acting improves, because from Coven it was good. There was several pop culture things, but it wasn't good enough to stand up with everybody else. Freak Show it improved drastically, so I'm hoping Hotel it grows even more. And I'll head more onto... Should I head more onto Emma Roberts in the Scream Queens hints? Maybe, maybe not, so maybe wrap it up from there. The role's going to be unexpected according to what she says, so... And really good, so I'm really looking forward to that. And it's in the last few episodes of the season, and it's with Evan, so... We're safely assumed that Evan's going to be dangling around for quite a long while. I've completely missed Detective Harmon Helena when looking through my research, so I'm going to move down to Lily Rabe, who's playing Eileen Ruenos. Aileen Ruenos. If I'm mispronouncing the name, I apologise. She's going to be one of those killers that's in the Halloween Devil's Night thing. And weirdly enough, that doesn't seem like a two-parter episode. So this is going to be really, really intriguing to see what will happen. So her character, Eileen, is known in real life for being a very, very kind of sexual person. So I can instantly see kind of like a link between her and the Countess. But I'm having a feeling that the addiction demon is going to play into her character. Because one of her things was, when Eileen was working as a prostitute, she killed all these men who she says was trying to sexually assault her. So I'm having a feeling when put into the mythology of American Horror Story Hotel that the addiction demon may be getting into the minds of those men that she kind of snapped and killed them. And she can see the addiction demon, but no one's going to believe her. I have a feeling the addiction demon's only going to be shown to the people who aren't likely enough to be believed. So, like Hypodermic Sally, Gabrielle, Eileen, because there's a scene between Sarah and Max in that first episode that's described as really disturbing with the addiction demon. So, here's hoping... I shouldn't hope that things go well. But I'm really excited to see Lily in kind of like a villain role again. So next up is Naomi Campbell, who's playing Claudia. At this point, I'd like Raja to kind of jump around the hotel at a certain odds and ends screaming, Naomi Campbell is a cum-guzzling whore. Because remember when she did that on Drag Race? Anyone? Just me? Alright then. Part of me wants that to happen because I think it'll be hilarious. She's warring with Gaga's Countess, so I have a feeling she's going to be around for like a few episodes and then she's going to be like gone. But next important thing, moving on quickly from Miss Campbell, who's going to be fashionably dressed as well. So those Gaga and Miss Campbell are going to have a rivalry going on, I think, with the fashion stuff and everything else. Madchen Amik is the next person on my list, and pardon me, she is going to be playing the role of a mother who Alex is essentially looking after her child starts experiencing some sickly-like things similar to her kid. And my mouth's literally just running on its own now, pretty much because I've got like 2 minutes left to talk. Anyway, I have a feeling that she's going to try... I think she's going to be a good character, but obviously Donovan's going to nick the child and Gaga's going to kill her. That's kind of what I'm getting the feeling of, so... Bye-bye, Madchen Amik. We hardly knew ya. Next up, Darren Criss as Justin. Apparently he's going to get onto Iris's skin and going to piss her off quite a bit, and he's a hipster, which will piss off quite a few more people. But I like Darren Criss, so hopefully he's not gone in like 2 or 3 episodes. I want to see him stick around for quite a bit. And last on my character list is a Christine Estabrook, who's returning as Marcy from Murder House. Now, simply summing her up. I didn't like Marcy in A Murder House, and I'm pretty much not going to like her in Hotel. So, let's move down to the episodes really quickly, because my space is about to run out. First episode, Checking In, is going to be about the characters coming in, and they're going to, we're going to get formally introduced to them. Chutes and Ladders. In the promo of Hallways, Evan Peters' character was... James was chucking sheets down a chute. So I'm thinking this episode is going to be kind of like an insight into his mind and a flashback to the time when he was building that hotel for his violent purposes. So that's pretty much that. And in present day, someone finds something or falls down a chute or a ladder and gets a very nasty surprise. Next episode is called Mommy, and I think that's where Alex and Madchen are going to finally meet, and things are going to start coming to a head with their kids. Devil's Night is the Halloween two-parter, so John's going to get invited to this feast with all these serial killers, and I think this is the episode where their child kind of turns into a bloodsucker along with Alex at the hands of Gaga and the kids. Next up is Room Service. To be fair, I'm honestly not particularly sure about this one. Something big's going to happen, though. Maybe we'll focus on what's her name? Mari Winningham's character, because she does play a maid. So I'm thinking something big to do with her. And Room 33. This is a good one because I feel like the bloodsuckers are all going to go into Room 33 and going to do some mass sucking thing, trying to teach Chloe Sevigny's character Alex self-control, but she loses it and kills someone badly. So the others have to all kind of kill everyone in that room to kind of mask her mistake, and they forget something or leave it behind, and John's eventually called to that room to investigate the murder. So that's when things start becoming really suspicious for that motley crew, and he starts realizing something very untoward is going on. So that's what I think's going to happen with that. So that's 6 episodes covered and AHS covered. Now, something is coming out of my earphones, and I'm going to check them. Also, I think my time's running short, and it could be elapsing at any minute, so I'm going to stop this, make this part 1, and then part 2 will be my Scream Queens theory, which won't go on for so long, but I don't want to compromise any space. So, for now, at this point, I'm signing off for part 1, and there's really nothing else left to say, other than, bye guys, see ya.